Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbo. We have just 10 minutes on tonight's show, and during that 10 minutes, we'll be celebrating all the women across the world because it's International Women's Day. And because you know the theme for this year, which is embracing equity, is sport actually doing that? But then there's a message coming from FIFA Secretary General Samoura talking about those teams that have qualified for the FIFA Women's World Cup for the very first time. We have 8 of those teams. Vietnam is part of it. Yes, Vietnam, they are going to the World Cup. Philippines also. Republic of Ireland, who happens to be Nigeria's group. We also have Zambia, an African nation, qualified for the first time. Morocco is also part of that team. But then FIFA Secretary General Samoura has a message for all those teams that are coming in, how they intend to embrace beyond greatness, which is the slogan for this year's tournament.
Women's Day to all of you. I'm delighted to be sending you the teams who have qualified for the FIFA Women's World Cup for the first time ever in your country's history. My warm greetings today. The FIFA Women's World Cup is getting closer, and excitement is building worldwide as the best 32 national women's football team will come together in the Southern Hemisphere, in Australia and New Zealand, to battle it out for the most coveted prize in football, the FIFA Women's World Cup trophy. I would like to congratulate each of you from Haiti, Ireland, Morocco, Panama, Portugal, the Philippines, Vietnam and Zambia on your hard work, your dedication, your skills and passion that have seen you qualified for this competition. The FIFA Women's World Cup is the largest women's single sport event in the world, and in order to harness the global reach of the tournament among young girls and women, have created an inspirational slogan, Beyond Greatness. In qualifying for the FIFA Women's World Cup, you debutants have, of course, achieved greatness. But what does it mean to go beyond greatness for all of you? For me in particular, beyond greatness will be seeing 32 outstanding women's teams compete across the 9 host cities in Australia and New Zealand, as over 1 billion people worldwide tune in to watch football excellence in action. It will be the witnessing of the joys of girls and women as they look at the teams and see reflections of themselves, seeing you ladies who are mothers, sisters, students, and athletes, women they identify with excelling on the pitch. This will encourage the next generation of young girls and women to aim high, to aim big, to advocate for themselves and to take themselves beyond greatness on the pitch, but also in life. I'm looking forward to hearing what beyond greatness means to each of you, and of course, to meeting and greeting all of you starting on 20th of July.
Yeah, 20th of July to, of course, 20th of June and 20th of July to 20th of August. That's when the World Cup is taking place, of course, in New Zealand and Australia. 32 teams. Zambia happens to be one of those teams that qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup. And of course, they're also making their debut. And a midfielder, what does it mean for this particular midfielder? What does it mean for Zambia to be here? Let's listen to her.
I think to me, beyond greatness means pushing beyond the limits or pushing beyond my doubts or expectations. And as a team, we want to achieve great, even more than what we achieved. We've been to the Olympics, and now I think the World Cup will be a great thing where we are going to showcase our talents, where we'll be expecting to achieve more greater goals, even to achieve, to go at a higher level. above where we are right now as a team and as individuals.
Everin Katogo, she's 20 years old. She was at the Olympics, Summer Olympics, the last time when Zambia represent Africa there. But first time she'll be making her debut at the World Cup. That's what greatness means for her. But for Republic of Ireland, they're in Nigeria's group with Canada. What does it mean for them qualifying for the first time? Let's listen to their head coach, Vera Powell.
Well, the fact that we qualified in itself is beyond greatness, and we call it we outbelieve to get there. And outbelieve is a slogan of the team, of our marketing campaign, and it actually says the same thing, right? It says that if you really go for something and you plan that, and you make the steps with each other, and nobody fails to step out of that line, then you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. But now, being at the World Cup, we want to grow further, and of course we know we will not win the World Cup. But what we want to show is that even after qualifying, that we're growing and growing and growing, and that we will be ready to compete at the level, to not just take part, but to compete at the level. And then we'll see how far we are.
How far will they go? They are in Nigeria's group with Canada, of course, who happens to be Olympic champions, and the Super Falcons of Nigeria, who are always at every tournament. They've never missed out since they started. Now, talking about the Super Falcons, let's celebrate our athletes for this year as we celebrate the International Women's Day. No other than Asisat Oshoala, simply because this season she's been fantastic. Now, this is someone in all the games she has played this season, 24 in all. She has scored 23 goals, assist 4. And all these goals that she has scored, none of them is from the penalty spot. And not just that, the fact that in 19 games for Barcelona, she has played 19 games she has played, she has scored 19 goals, 19 out of the 19 and 2 assists. That's for Barcelona alone. And of course, in the Champions League, after 5 games in the Champions League, of course, she has scored 4 goals and also 2 assists. So you know, yes, when you talk about greatness, when you talk about embracing equity, Asisat Oshoala is one of those women who is doing that, especially off the field, what she has actually done for the team. But then I caught up with someone who sits on the board of London FA. She's a Nigerian, Christina Oshodi. Not just that, she's also a coach for UEFA Educator. She's been talking about equity. What does it mean? How can football actually embrace equity? Let's listen to her if football is really following that and what FIFA can do to ensure that, yes, every girl, every woman who is playing football can actually get something out of what they're doing.
It's not easy in female football in general to be able to become a professional. Even the top leagues that are professional now, like WSL, the US Super League, they've only recently become professional. It's not something that's happened for decades. And if you compare the salaries they're receiving compared to the male counterparts, it's peanuts. It's ground nuts. It's nothing at all. So that's still a struggle we are all fighting from. And luckily we have FIFA, the governing body, on our side. They're trying to plough more money into football. CAF's also trying to do that. And we just hope that it filters down to the grassroots.
It has to trickle down because that's what FIFA is actually trying to do. That's why last year when they launched that, they need 6 million new footballers, 6 million across the world to play the game. Of course, so much money is being invested. But then the key is equal pay is still there. Canada, of course, has been fighting that. Nigeria, we're still trying to get the structure right to talk about the equal pay. USA have been able to achieve that. Edo Queens and Ben Insurance are having that. Equal pay is happening there. But then other clubs are trying to come up. Other countries are also trying to have that. We hope that next year when we're celebrating International Women's Day, embracing equity will not just be the theme, but the fact that most countries would have been able to embrace that equity among men and women. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Happy International Women's Day to all of you once again.